Here we are in Gorebridge Parish Church, and I'm delighted to be speaking to Nathan, who's one of the member of the Kirk Session.
Yes.
Fantastic, Nathan, that you're stepping up and say, yeah, I'm going to be part of the Kirk Session. I just want to chat with you about what took you to say yes to be a member of the Kirk Session, what you do in the Kirk Session, and how you find it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what was it you were doing, or where were you, and suddenly did you get pounced upon? Or
Yes, they twisted my arm, forced me to join. Didn't have a choice. So I was, with the church is undergoing an extension, which we've named the Hilltop Project. And I was on the team that was trying to push that forward.
Sorry, Nathan, is this a building project?
Yes, I built an extension to one of the halls.
Okay.
I was on the team trying to push that forward, and we were having Zoom meetings and such, and I was just contributing to that. Trying to get the project moving forward. And I think off the back of that team has a lot of elders on it. And off the back of that, they must have seen something that they thought that they liked. And then I was approached with Amanda and Guy. The three of us were approached at the same time to see if we would like to look at joining the Kirk Session and start that journey.
Okay, fantastic. And the Kirk Session here in the church, what does that comprise of?
So it's obviously the minister, Mark Nicholas, and elders. There's normally 12 elders on the Kirk Session here. And yeah, I mean, I imagine just like most churches, we have a session clerk and we have a treasurer who was an elder, and the current treasurer isn't an elder now. We meet 7 times a year. And we're trustees of the charity, so we make decisions about the direction of the church. We deal with things such as safeguarding. Anything that needs kind of like a high-level sign-off from leadership comes to the Kirk Session. And so I'm privileged to be a part of it. And
Nathan, how did you feel when you stepped into your first meeting? I mean, I've been to quite a few Kirk Sessions, and sometimes, well, church culture's like, sometimes you get black and white pictures of ministers around the walls, and you walk in and everyone can it's a wee bit older than yourself might be.
No, it's, well, I don't know what your experience of Gorebridge Parish Church is, Peter, but it's certainly a lot more relaxed than that. With the path to becoming an elder, we spent about a year attending Kirk Session as a trainee elder or something like that, where we would attend Kirk Session and we would take part and we'd have discussion, but we never had a vote on decision making. And so we were quite eased into it, really, because we saw the mechanics of it. And our session clerk, Agnes, is absolutely fantastic, and she did a lot to help ease us in. And we were all given we were asked to find a serving member of the Kirk Session that we would like to mentor us, to tutor us into the role.
Can I just stop you there? Because it does make sense for you both to be here. So, Amanda, great to chat with you as well, because you are obviously together with Nathan, part of the new recruits that were being brought on. Could you say a bit more about the year? I mean, Nathan, you said a year is what you had.
I think it was a year.
Yeah, we were first approached by Mark, and then we were asked to take time to prayerfully consider, to think about who we might want to mentor us and to have a chat with them. During that process, it was a lot of, is this what's right? How does this fit into, where we're serving already in the church? And then we came along for a year. And my mentor was very good at checking in and saying, how are you finding it? What is the sort of feedback that you have? Got to experience Kirk Session firsthand, obviously, not the bits that were closed session. My mentor was Agnes, who was the current session clerk. Now, I thought that she would be a good mentor because she was actually one of the people that encouraged me to start attending Gorebridge Parish when basically my other church had fallen apart and we weren't attending, so she had eased me in through the community and was one of the reasons why we've ended up here. I value her wisdom. So she would sit down and meet with me and ask how things were going. How did I feel that, after a session meeting, how did I feel that went? And just encouraging any questions and just having a time of just prayer and fellowship. We maybe met 6 times, and I know that I could find her on a Sunday morning or during the week, and just approach her with anything that was concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, even still, I know that if I've got an issue, I can bring it up to her, and, she'll sit and chat it through.
And so it was, you were encouraged and mentored, nurtured into the role.
Yes.
And so you knew what you're getting into, and you had quite a big run-up. And then in your Kirk Session meetings, again, like sometimes they can be very formal because they have to be. You deal with serious stuff. But is there more to it than that in terms of the life of the Kirk Session here? How would you describe the life of the Kirk Session or meetings?
Yeah, there's formalities to it, but it's quite a relaxed atmosphere. We're very fortunate that all the people serving on the Kirk Session they have great relationships with each other. So, you're sitting around a table with people who you really respect, and very wise people. A meeting will feel a lot just like a conversation. The chair will lead it, but everybody will chip in, and it's probably more relaxed than some Kirk Sessions that you've been to, and of course, as you say, sometimes there's serious things to discuss, and that's done with the proper respect. But I've found it a very positive place to be. I look forward to the meetings, even if they're difficult, even if we have difficult things. And also, the Kirk Session meetings they're often full of exciting stuff. Where are we trying to go? Mm-hmm. What things are we trying to bring into the church? Who are we trying to reach? How are we going to get there? And so, if you're into stuff like that, then it's a cool place to be.
Great. And sorry, Amanda,
I was going to say, you come away thinking like, wow, that was a really good session.
Yeah.
It could be quite heavy, but at the same time, like, right, how are we going to, think about, right, what is coming up next, and how are we going to work together to achieve that?
Just dealing with the really important things in the life of the church from the past and looking forward. Yeah. Do you have specific roles on the Kirk Session, either of you?
I'm quite involved with the property side of the Kirk Session, so looking after the building, and as well that Hilltop project that I spoke about earlier. But I would say that's my main role. I'm a joiner, so that kind of leans on my expertise. My official title is finance convener, but I serve on the finance team, support the treasurer.
Cool. And so again, playing to your strengths and something that you can offer skills into that. And spiritually, it's quite a responsibility in dealing with stuff like that at the end of the day, in the evenings after work. How would you describe? It's not too heavy, or it's kind of intense. How would you describe the experience?
In terms of just meetings, or in general being an elder?
In terms for you as a Christian, as a person, in terms of people, is it a lot to think about? Is it a privilege? What word would you use in terms of as you look at this and
I think it would
serving on it?
Yeah, a privilege, and that you have a responsibility. You want to be praying and seeking, for what sometimes you think, oh, well, I can't do that, or we can't do that, and you think, well, but what is God leading us to be taking on? And decisions like the upcoming season, do we run that program? What is it? Maybe what I want to do, but is it what the Lord's saying that we should be putting our time and investment in?
I would say we're called to serve, and this is just an area that you serve in. When I was first approached, in my head, my pushback, I thought, I don't know if I am wise enough to be on the Kirk Session. One of the things that encouraged me to look past that and to join was I thought, who's currently on the Kirk Session? And I would look at the names and I thought, these are people which I think are so wise, and I really respect them. And for some reason, if they think I'm up to it, then maybe I should trust them. So it's certainly you get a bit of imposter syndrome thinking, should I really, this seems like quite a big deal, And this is a very vibrant church. It's very, 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 very busy, and the budget is stretched all the time. It's trying to do a lot. So you think to be on the panel that makes decisions for it, it's quite a big responsibility. But trust those people, trust the Lord, and if they think that, they pray about who they're going to ask. And then you're asked and you pray, and you're thinking, all right, God, is this for me? Is this where you want me to serve? Is this right? So that's how I see it. I just see it as how I serve.
That's great. That's lovely. Do you go away as a Kirk Session together?
We've certainly met for a day of prayer here, a morning of prayer, I should say. We were looking to plan our year, like what we're going to do this year and how we're going to get there.
Breakfast and vision casting.
Breakfast and vision casting. Yeah.
And how long have you taken this on for?
Well, as someone said, this is you for life now, because you're either a serving member of Session or you're not
a lifetime appointment.
So
they've got you. I'm not sure how long. Maybe 2 years, including or maybe a year as elders and a year as trainee elders, maybe something like that.
And you were ordained as elders?
Yeah, we were.
April last year, so we're probably about three years in.
We're getting there.
That's great.
We're getting there. We're getting more grey.
Fab. Any other highlights or things that would be good to kind of share, little stories of kind of like how things happen at the meeting you didn't expect?
I always like that we have prayer and worship to start, and that always, just sets us up. We did just finish the church review as well, and that set a bit of vision off the back of that to say, right, here's our areas that we know we do well, and here's areas that maybe we could be improving on, and, the vision for that. And it's always nice to hear updates from the different things that we are running, like we've just had the summer update, and and celebrating things that we've been praying about.
Yeah.
And answers to prayer.
Yeah, we have that at Kirk Session. People will bring forward, some highlights or excellent stories. After our summer day camp that we run here at the local school and then here in the church that's called Stage and Slam Gorebridge, we came into contact with 170 kids. Or I think it was 170. So that's brought up at Kirk Session, and that gets everybody fired up. And I've never been to another Kirk Session, but my dad's a Church of Scotland minister, and I've been coming to this church since I was 4. And I have in my mind that some Kirk Sessions will meet and it would be a bit like a council meeting, or a bit like a mini parliament, And I can't stress enough how our Kirk Session meeting is nothing like that. It's like 12 friends who love the Lord get together and they solve the problems and they make decisions for what's coming up. And it's a privilege to do that with those people. I'm sure it has taken a lot of work from elders before our time to get it to that stage, and such a healthy stage. But we're really privileged to inherit it like that.
That's great.
And it doesn't mean we always see, like, you go in and there's no pushback to each other, or challenging, but in an absolute loving way, and that your heart
well
is,
said.
Final kind of thing in some ways, any encouragements you'd give to other churches, people who might feel they're younger and they think, now wait till I'm older to get asked about that? Any comments into that situation?
One of the things that makes the Kirk Session run so smoothly is the size of it. And I've certainly heard of Kirk Sessions that have over 100 elders. And getting anything done with that amount of people must be impossible, because there'll be differing opinions, and it'll be so difficult to get a vote on something. I would encourage churches to have a look at the register of elders and think that, are these people that are contributing to the spiritual life of the church? And what direction are we trying to take the church, and do they align with that? Because if your leadership team is not unified in that, then getting anything done is going to be impossible. I've certainly, used to be the case that being an elder in the Church of Scotland had a bit of status with it. It may well have looked good on your CV, or just because you were, a respectable member of the community, that you were also an elder in the local church. I don't think that is conducive to leading an organisation like this. So that would be my challenge to other churches, especially if they're struggling to, if their congregation is shrinking in size. And, we see that across the Church of Scotland. I had a look on the Church of Scotland's website the other day about all the properties they have up for sale. And that is heartbreaking exercise, to see these gorgeous churches being sold off for nothing. And I think there is a revival, actually, at the moment. And people from my generation are hungry for church, like the full fat church. They want Christian values, and they want it in bucket loads, and they want the church to stand up and say, this is who we are and this is what we believe in, not the watered down stuff. A real anchor for their life, in a world which is, you can be anything you want, and and your life can have whatever meaning that you place upon it. So I think people have seen through that and they're looking for more. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's great.